Mali and its neighbours have pledged to help French forces leading the fight against rebel forces. Chad has promised to send 2,000 soldiers. France is sending hundreds of ground troops out from the capital, Bamako. Armoured vehicles have already been shelling Diabaly, 400 kilometres north. Once the campaign there is over, the French will target rebels further east in Kidal, Konna and Gao.
As French forces ready themselves here in Bamako, there's a danger of more kidnappings and acts of terror. Today at the airport, French troops were preparing to go north to fight. Aerial bombardment has flushed out some of the jihadis, but others are in caves in the desert or under cover in the bush. More equipment and soldiers are arriving all the time. The jihadis in Mali already have 8 French hostages. And an attempt to rescue a French intelligence officer in Somalia on Friday night ended in disaster. The Malian president went to the airport to greet French soldiers this afternoon. He understands only too well the risks for civilians, both Malian and foreign.
I wanted to express my thanks and the gratitude of the whole of the Malian people. We know perfectly well that without the determined and decisive intervention of the French forces, the problem would have been very, very difficult to solve.
He's a weak leader, indebted to a junior officer who staged a coup last March. This is his opportunity to assert himself as commander-in-chief. But his armed forces ran away from northern Mali last year and are in no state to return.
The situation on the ground with the intervention of the French armed forces and especially the Air Force has been a great help. Without them, the situation was going to be catastrophic. But now the situation allows us to keep a certain calm on the ground, and the Malian army is in the process of reorganizing with the help of the French for the reinvasion.
Our enemy is strong. They have hundreds of men equipped with vehicles. We've come here to take over from our comrades who are based here, and our main goal is to prevent the enemy from moving towards the south.
On Wednesday, troops came face to face with insurgents. The French army stormed into the key cities of Sévaré and Diabaly to help Malian soldiers take back the territory. The enemy is well equipped and mobile, which means support from Mali's West African neighbours could be crucial.
Members of ECOWAS said they would participate. Chad is now involved, and once again, you should understand that everything was rushed. African forces are getting ready, and I believe will be in Mali within the next few days.
According to the Chadian foreign minister, the country will be sending around 2,000 troops in the shape of an infantry regiment and 2 support battalions. Chad is calling on all African nations to join France in the war. Nigeria will also send a total of 900 troops, with a first company arriving in Mali on Thursday.
The key to the French operation so far has been air power. These Mirage fighter jets come from nearby Chad, where France has a permanent military base. The French have also been using helicopter gunships and big transport planes to ship equipment in from Europe and from other French bases across Africa. But bombing the Islamists from the air and attacking them with rockets and so on from helicopters is not going to solve the problem, because unless the enemies of France, as the French and the Malian government see it, can occupy the places that have been bombed, the enemy can just regroup. So the key will be the ground operation, which I understand has now started, with a large column of French troops have moved into the centre of Mali and are engaging the enemy, the Islamists, in a town called Diabaly.
Militant Islamists took control of vast swathes of desert in Mali's north last year. They now also claim to be in control of 3 key towns in the centre of the country, Diabaly, Kala and Konna. With the northern border region near Mauritania secured by the Malian army, the rebels may find themselves pinned down between the border and the advancing French. Rebel fighters have raised their flag on the outskirts of the town of Konna. Commentators say French intervention has been necessary but is not sufficient. The arrival of West African troops is much anticipated.